Okay, so this is going to be problem 3.5 from your book. It says in pigeons, the dominant allele, big C, causes a checkered pattern in feathers. Its recessive allele, little c, produces a plain pattern. Feather coloration is controlled by an independently assorting gene. The dominant allele B produces red feathers, and the recessive allele B produces brown feathers. Birds from a true breeding checkered red variety are crossed to birds from a true breeding plain brown variety. Um, so we'll draw this out real quick. So anytime you have a problem like this, I always like to just write down all my variables. So we're gonna have big C, little c. This big C is checkered, and little c is plain. Big B is red, and little b is brown. Okay, so they said they have a true breeding checkered red um, crossed with a true breeding plain brown. Okay, and then it said to predict their phenotype. Anytime you have a homozygous dominant crossed with a homozygous recessive, they're always going to have the dominant phenotypes. The only difference is they'll be heterozygous after that instead of homozygous. So they'll be big C, little c, big B, little b. So that's going to be checkered red. Okay, and then it said if these progeny are intercrossed, what phenotypes will appear in the F2 generation and in what proportions? Okay, so anytime you have a dihybrid cross and they're both heterozygous, you're going to have a 9:3:1 ratio. And if you can just remember this ratio, that'll save you a lot of time on the test. Otherwise, you got to work it out the long way. So the 9 is always going to be dominant, dominant. And then these are each going to be one dominant, one recessive. And then the 1 is going to be recessive, recessive. Okay. So the 9, you know that you're going to have 9 checkered red. And you're going to have 3 checkered brown. And then you're going to have 3 plain red. And then you're going to have 1 plain brown. Okay, so like I said, if you can just remember the 9:3:1 ratio, that'll save you a lot of time on the test. Otherwise, I'll show you how to work it out the long way, but it's a little bit more of a pain. It's definitely a lot slower. So when you intercross the two heterozygous alleles, so the possible gametes you're going to have, you'll have checkered red, checkered brown, and then plain red and plain brown. And you're going to cross these with each other. So big C, little big B, big C, little b, little c, big B, and little c, little b. Okay. So this is the same Punnett squares you use with the monohybrid crosses, but it's just bigger, and there's 16 squares instead of 4. Uh, so in this first square, you're going to have dominant, dominant. And then the next square, you're going to have dominant, dominant. Next square is going to be dominant, dominant. And the next square is going to be dominant, dominant. Okay, down here, you're still going to have dominant, dominant. Okay, and then this one, you're going to have dominant, recessive. Okay, and this one, you're still going to have dominant, dominant. And the next one, you have dominant, recessive. Okay. Come back over here, you're going to have dominant, 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 dominant. So recessive dominant, and then another recessive dominant. Oops. That's a little c, not a big C. Okay, come over here. You're going to have dominant, dominant. You're going to have big C, little b. You have little c, big B. And then little c, little c. Little c, little b. Okay. So all of these ones are the dominant, dominant. So that's going to be your 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Include these guys. 9, dominant, dominant. Okay. And then you're going to have 3 dominant recessives. So you got your little b, big C right here, little b, big C here, and little b, big C here. So let's see. Little b, little b. And then you get your 3 little c, big B, big B's right there. And then you're going to have just this one lonely recessive. Yeah. So that way works as well. It's just a lot more time consuming. So it's a lot easier if you can just remember the 9-3-3-1 ratio. And that is problem 3.5.